Then hop straight into it. The market has been smoking me this week. Um, so before we, I guess before we jump straight into it, I guess I'll go ahead and give a disclaimer. I took two losses again today. So before I got on to make this video, I actually went back to the beginning of the week and back tested everything to make sure all the trades that I took, I would take again. Basically, just making sure my trades are high probability. Because again, just because you're losing, even if it's a losing streak, it doesn't mean that your edge doesn't work. You just need to make sure that you're following your edge on every trade. If you follow your edge on every trade and it's just on the losing streak right now, like you got to ride it out, especially when it's an edge that you know has shown profitability for you in the long run. Like if it's a new edge, I get where it being on a losing streak right off the bat can make you want to switch. Should you? That's going to be based off of the person. Like how long have you tried it? How much have you back tested it? When you back tested it, is it unprofitable the same way it is in a live market? Or is it just a bad time in the market? Now, if it's unprofitable in your back testing and in the live market, then that's one of those times where I would say, okay, maybe that strategy just ain't for you. But if it's profitable back testing and live testing is not, maybe there's something with you that you need to figure out. If it's been profitable in back testing and in live testing, and right now it's just not hitting, like, then you just have to understand, okay, my edge might be on a losing streak. So before I got on with you guys, I went back to Monday session, back tested Monday, still ended up taking two losses, which happened in real time. Back tested Tuesday. Anybody who watched my video from Tuesday knows that I did make a mistake that day, or I broke one of my rules and I got in on the trade that I shouldn't have. So I took two losses on Tuesday, but in reality, I only should have took one loss. So that's one trade that I took a loss on in live time that I shouldn't have taken at all. And then Wednesday, which is today, I took two losses. So I back tested Monday and Tuesday, but you guys know I record from the live session. So I haven't back tested Wednesday yet, and that's what I'm getting ready to do on this video. So that was just a little bit beforehand. Now, let's hop straight into it. Okay, so we are on the 3 hour. We see that the 3 hour, we'll go ahead and pull it out some. The 3 hour has been broken. So we know that 3 hour was ranging from all the way back here and finally broke right here. It didn't pull back all the way. I mean, it pulled back some. It gave this small little retracement, and now it's pushing past and breaking it. So what we're going to do is while we're analyzing the three, no, we'll leave the 1 hour and just pick up from there. So on the 3 hour, what do we see? So on the 3 hour, I see that price broke here. It gave a second candle, but didn't break past. Then the third candle broke and pushed, making this little bit of structure high probability. So what I want to do is go ahead and highlight this entire demand area for the 3 hour. And then I understand that this is the new high because price started a retracement right after there. So now I just got to align this to make sure it is at a 50% pullback level. Which we have a lot of room to pull it down. So we can pull it down. Yeah, so about right here. There's nowhere super clean where I'm like, oh man, I just really want to pull it there. If anything, it would be this candle right here. But I'm going to just pull it straight to the 50%. Because the 3 hour is such a high time frame. Like, I just want 50% at minimum. So after this, we see that price then pulled back and broke again. This time it closed and gave a second candle push. So we have a second high probability 3 hour little area from here because price pulled back to here and then it pushed up. So now we have this second 3 hour. Sorry about that. Second 3 hour demand, and this is the high for right now. Price can still break that point. Um, so now we see that price pushed up and we're looking for some type of retrace. So we actually can get rid of the 1 hour or we could just resume. I mean, the 1 hour is going to end up here anyway. For me, I'm going to get rid of it because once I have a high, and my explanation behind that is once a time frame higher changes character, I want to focus on the market phase that price is currently in, not where price was. The 1 hour was all the way here and here, but the 3 hour has already passed that and created new 3 hour structure. So why am I worried about 1 hour structure down here when the 3 hour, which is higher than the 1 hour, has already surpassed it? No, I want to focus on 1 hour within the range that the 3 hour is currently in. So currently the 3 hour pulled back, impulse creating a new high, and we're looking for some type of pullback, if not for price to continue pushing. So we're just going to go to the 1 hour and see what structure it gives us within here. So there's no pullback structure right now. So let's find the last bit of structure. The last bit of structure we see matches with the 3 hour. So it was this high right here, right? This high here, price pulled back to the exact same low, and then it impulsed. It broke here, one candle, and gave us a second candle push. So it is also high probability. So rather than having this as a 3 hour zone, I'm going to make it a 1 hour zone. I understand that it also is a 3 hour zone, but I'm going to mark it as a 1 hour zone because I understand this is the 1 hour zone and the 3 hour high is the exact same. So that makes it easy with the 3 hour structure and 1 hour structure. They line up at the current moment. So let's go through it again. Price has created a high, pulled back, impulsed on the 1 hour, and now it's in a retracement phase. So on the 10-minute, we want to focus on this area if structure allows. So let's go ahead because we know 1, 2. So this is right before our session at 7. So let's go to the 10-minute. Boom. So on the 10-minute, like I said, we want to focus on this retrace area. So where do we see? Boom. The cleanest low would be right here. The cleanest low. Price pullback. Gave a 2 candle push. Perfect. That makes this high probability. Structure right here. And high probability high up here. So 10-minute. All right, so we got here, give it a few candles. So we got here right around 720. So looking at it, we see prices impulse to the downside, prices pulled back, pushed off of it. And when it pushed off, okay, that means I would look for a second test, right? So then price pushed off, rejected the low, came and gave a second test, and is now currently pushing off of it a second time. So for me, price is in what I'm looking at as a continuation phase. Now, but now I understand this zone is no longer valuable to me. Why? Because price has tested it twice, and I have a two test rule. Price tested here the first time and pushed off, and then it came and tested deeper and pushed off a second time. So now this is low probability 10-minute structure to me. So this is low probability 10-minute structure. Why is it low probability 10-minute structure? Because price has tested it twice and now it's in a down push. So I understand that. So let's go back to the phases. Price impulsed, retraced, gave a continuation, rejected the low, retraced again, gave a second test, and now we're looking at a continuation here. So on the 5-minute, we want to focus on this little area right here and see what's going on. So on the 5-minute, we clearly see price has impulse to the downside, giving us a nice little low. Pull back, giving us another low. So up here on this initial impulse, we see structure was broken. So there was a high here, low here, pull back. So there's actually a zone up here. There's an open 5-minute zone right up here. Which now, if this gets tested, we can look for entry. But now we see that the 5-minute and 10-minute high kind of align in that way. So if price breaks the 10-minute high, breaks the 10-minute high within this 5-minute zone, I'm gonna be real, I don't think that would be a smart trade to take. to the downside because it just broke structure to the upside of the 10-minute, but you just got to kind of see how it plays out. And then price had formed low probability structure from here down to here. Well, let's make sure it's low probability. Yep, it is low probability right here, 5-minute. So now we can look at the 2-minute. Price is pushed to the downside, started its retrace. There's no real structure here just yet. We gotta wait for either a break to the upside or a break to the downside for us to have some 2-minute structure. And really, yeah, because I mean, price, the last structure was here to here. So that's low probability. So there's really nothing there on the 2-minute. So we're just waiting and looking. Um, Boom. So price gave this wick. So on the 5-minute, we know it didn't break structure, but let's take the 2-minute. So on the 2-minute, we got a structure break, which made this the solidified this is the new high. And then we got a break to the upside too. So let's see if we get a second candle push. Nope, not immediately. Boom. Now we got a second candle push. So now we actually can look at this as tradable 2-minute structure. 2 minutes. So let's see how much it pushes before it starts to retrace. Still pushing. Let's make sure. Nope. Still pushing. Boom. Now it retraces. So now let's just make sure that this zone falls within 50%. It does fall within the 50% level. All right. So now we're just looking to see if it retraces back and gives us an opportunity to enter. Boom. So price actually broke structure on the 2-minute, creating low probability structure here. But this open 2-minute zone is still viable if price pulls back to it. Let's go to the 5-minute just to make sure it didn't break, and it didn't. So now we're still waiting on the 2-minute. Either it's going to test here or it's going to end up breaking 5-minute to the upside. Boom. So we finally get a test inside of this 2-minute zone and a 2-minute break technically. So what do we get? We get this candle right here, which is a confirmation, and we can look to get in about 5 pip stop loss, which means we're looking for about 12.5 to the upside. 0.5. Now let's see if we get enter and this solidifies this low. Boom. So we not entered just yet, but price does give us another bullish candle. So we can leave it as is. And now we are entered. So price solidified this low. So now we see price on the 2-minute is technically pushing to the downside, but it gave us confirmation off of this open zone and is now pushing to the upside, and we are in this trade. So what we're going to do is go to the 1-minute and look at bullish confirmations. So we have price bullish right here to the upside, creating this high. Now we needed to break this high somewhere so that it gives us a area that we can protect our trade. Never did that, immediately pushed down to our stop loss. So we got stopped out. That was our first loss of the day. That's a good trade. I can't argue that one. Like, came, tested an open zone that it left, gave a nice rejection bullish candle off of the zone, and continued past that, or at least pushed past it initially to break the candle for entry. We just ended up taking an L there. We can't be upset with that. So now that it's tested here, I will be okay if price ends up testing lower and giving me another confirmation. So let's see if we get it. I think news came out right here because the spreads got a little crazy and stuff. I was going to get in off of this candle, but again, the spreads came out crazy and price started going crazy, so I didn't even get in. Like, a news candle came, and lucky I didn't, because had I got in this trade, I would have gotten stopped out before it ever pushed to the upside. So we didn't get in this trade. After this news happened and price created this super long candle, I just said, you know what? I'm not messing with the 2-minute anymore today. I'm gonna just wait for the 5 minute structure. So we went to the 5 minute and just awaited because at this point, either price is gonna break structure or it's gonna give me an opportunity off of this zone. So trade that was our first loss of the day. So let's see what ends up happening. Price is just playing and playing. Perfect. Now it finally pushes inside of this 5 minute open zone, and 5 minute has broken to the upside. Let's see if it's high probability upside. No, it is not. It is low probability upside. It's because price has solidified its pullback right here. So that more so gives me extra good feeling about the confirmation. So we're right about here, about 8.5 as far as entry, which means we would be looking at 9.5. So that would be about 19.5 on the downside push if we get entered into this trade. So let's see what ends up happening. Boom. So that does not count. We need another confirmation candle. So let's see what happens. Price has broke above this 5 minute and 10 minute. So in my in my live session, I did not have this 10 minute marked off. That's me being 100% honest. I actually created 10 minute structure to the upside because I went all the way back instead of just sticking with the low. Now going to the 10 minute and seeing this, I still would have probably took the second trade that I did. So on the 10 minute, price wicked above and closed below here. But on the 5 minute, it just closed here. So for me, let's get that second 5 minute candle. So for me, when I got this candle right here, I was still willing to enter because on the 10 minute, it never closed above here, breaking structure. So on the 5 minute, it broke here and it's low probability. So the new 5 minute high is here and the 5 minute low is this pullback to here. So for me, I'm okay getting in this trade because it never broke on the 10 minute, on the actual 10 minute time frame, and it wicked above like a liquidity grab and gave us a nice bearish push off back within the zone before that 5 minute candle closed. So for me, if price continues pushing, I want in. 7.5, that's about 17.5 as far as TP. So let's see what happens. Boom, price gives us a nice push inside of there. Let's get our 17.5 level. So we are at 17.5 times 0.75. That's 13.1. So we just pull it up, 13.1. This is our level that we will protect our trade at. Partial. So 17.5. All right. So now that we're in this trade with a nice push, the next thing we want to do is go to the 2 minute and look for areas to protect ourselves. So on the 2 minute, we have a downside push that has now started to retrace. So what we want to do is go ahead and mark this right here. So I want to see price break the 2 minute with high probability structure so that I can create a zone that protects my trade. So let's see what happens. Boom. So price breaks it, but it closes back within it. So this is technically our first candle break. Let's see if we get a second candle break, which allows us to protect the trade. No second candle break. So I can still identify the structure, but this isn't high probability structure, which means there's a high chance that price will break this structure, but it could still push back down to the downside as well after that. So let's see what ends up happening. Boom. Very next candle just spiked straight through. Like it was no news, no nothing. Like, so I don't even know what was up with the candle. But yeah, this was low probability 5 minute structure here. It gave us a nice confirmation off of the open zone, pushed down, and just faked us out. I mean, honestly. So this were my two losses for the day. So going through them a second time, those are also good trades. So on the week, I should have had 5 losses, but I've taken 6 losses so far because, of course, on Tuesday, I took that one trade that I shouldn't have and lost on that one too. So let's talk about it. How am I going to move forward with the week? So, first things first, no matter how much you're risking, 6 losses is a lot to take all at one time. So, for me, my next step is okay, I've taken 6 losses. My capital has taken a hit, not super drastically to where I need to panic, but I definitely need to reduce my risk, at least for right now, right? Until I start seeing some wins coming in and it starts adding back to the capital has been taken out, that has been taken out from these 6 losses in a row, I'm going to cut my risk. So tomorrow, my risk will be cut. Not in half, but I'm cutting it down a little bit from what I have had it from Monday through Wednesday. And tomorrow's Thursday. It's only 2 trading days left. So for me tomorrow, if I come into the market and I follow all my rules and take 2 good opportunities and they both turn out to be losses again, I am not trading on Friday. I will just write this up as a bad week and I will come back on Monday refreshed and ready to start the new week off. But if I can come into the market tomorrow and let's just say it, if anything happens other than 2 full losses tomorrow, I will still come back Friday with lowered risk. But yeah, for right now, the rest of this week, my risk is going to be lowered. And then over the weekend, I might get some capital. I do prize picks sometime. And when I hit on prize picks, that stuff goes straight into my trading account. When I get paid, I always put a little bit straight into my trading account. And sometimes, I have money just sitting invested in other places that, you know, depending on how the market moved overall this week, sometimes I do like to move some of my long term stuff that I have sitting in stocks to my trading account just because now that I'm more consistent and disciplined, it's a better investment to put it in my trading account than it is to just leave it there. Um, so yeah, typically I don't do deposits until the weekend. So if I have money that I know I want to put in my trading account, I don't put it in there until the weekend because I like keeping my risks the same. And most people, when they make deposits, they want to increase their risk because their account has increased. I don't like that. I just hold on to the money until the weekend, put it in there, and then come up with my plan for the upcoming week and then trade it through the week. So this week, we've taken nothing but losses. Um, Hopefully tomorrow has some wins available. But again, we're just going to show up, follow our trading plan, only take high probability opportunities, and see what happens from there. But yeah, so you guys are getting to see a live losing streak. That doesn't mean my edge doesn't work. Like if you go back through all of my other videos, like you will see I've had really, really, really good weeks. My edge does work. It is profitable. It's just on a losing streak right now. Like it's on a 5 trade losing streak. It's kind of crazy. It does suck, but I'm not gonna get emotional about it because, like I said, when I go back and review all of my trades, when I go back and review all the videos I made on my trades, I see that the trades I took were very good trades. But you got to remember, high probability trades just mean they have a high chance of winning, but they can still lose. And anytime you have probability, you can go on a losing streak. The same way you can go on a winning streak. If I get a coin and I say I'm gonna pick heads every time, I have a 50% chance of winning. But I could go on a losing streak to where it lands on tails 5 times in a row. And that doesn't mean that, oh, my strategy, aka picking heads every time, doesn't work. It just means that's how probabilities work, man. Simple as that. Probabilities will have losing streaks, probabilities will have winning streaks, but you want to continue to choose things with high probability because that just means you have the highest chance of coming out on top. Maybe not on a week to week basis, but when you look at it for a whole year, you realize like, okay, I see now how my strategy is profitable because in the beginning of the year I took like a 1 week or 2 week losing streak, and then it was followed by a nice winning streak. And ultimately, all you're trying to do is end in profit by the end of the year, by the end of the month, whatever you use as your time frame. But yeah, we're gonna come back tomorrow, see what the market has to offer. Like I said, if if I take 2 losses tomorrow off of high probability setups, I am done for the week. If we can get a win, that would be great. If we can get 2 wins, that would be even better. But we just gonna have to wait and see what the market brings us tomorrow. So let's see where price is at now. I always go live just to see like, and prices just pushed like with no real reason. Like I couldn't even tell you why prices pushed. It created a zone here, never pulled back to it, created low probability here. Yeah, I have no idea what and why price is acting the way it does, but the truth is nobody does. At the end of the day, we show up, we react to it, and see if we can make some profit off high probability setup. So I will be back tomorrow, potentially Friday. Once I make my video tomorrow and we get the results, you guys will know whether I'm trading Friday or not. So until tomorrow, I'll have a good one.